Hi.
Hi,
Hi.
Sorry, my bad.
It's
it's
all
all
right.
good.
Good.
How are you?
Good, really good. Yes, amazing. So,
Great.
are we late or are we on time or are we? I'm just
We're
trying
on time. I
to.
told people that you were running a few minutes late. Juliana warned me, so people
Okay,
should be arriving in a few minutes.
okay,
Before
perfect.
then, we could just introduce ourselves so you could meet the rest of the team. So we already met, but Zexy
Yeah,
and Elsa, if you'd like to introduce yourselves.
all
Go
right,
ahead,
let's go.
Zaxi.
Love it.
Sure. Well, hi, Mr. Lapierre, or Etienne,
Yeah,
if that
it's in.
works.
Yes.
Um, I'm a current honors commerce student at Marianopolis, and I'm also a well executive with Ella and Elspeth. And in general, I'm really interested into uh, the law and international relations in general.
Yes.
Um, so yeah,
Good.
nice to meet you.
Yeah. Not too much different from me. It's nice to meet you. I'm Elspeth. Also in honors commerce. Uh, hoping to go des hotels and not into law, but I always find the topic interesting. So yeah, no, I'm excited for today. That was good.
Amazing. Okay, so law is a common subject that you all seem to love.
Hmm.
No,
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
yeah, it's
interesting for sure.
that's amazing. It's good. Love it.
yeah. I know it's a bit odd that like we all kind of like law, but we started like an entrepreneurship club.
Yeah,
But definitely like entrepreneurship is something we want to encourage at school. And I
yeah,
felt, especially like at CJEP level or student level, it's a lot less known and a trend than in university, obviously.
Mm.
for sure.
So really great to have you, Etienne. And Alvéole also seems like a really great like social enterprise, and definitely looking forward to hearing about it.
Amazing. We're gonna have fun.
Mm.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Sorry to interrupt. Just one thing, people are stuck in the waiting room, so I don't know what we could
Okay.
do
Oh,
about that.
Yeah. So normally I would receive invites and accept them, but I have nothing.
Really?
do you
Oh,
see?
okay. Wait, I'm gonna come back in another account. That's why. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Okay, no worries.
Okay. I'll be right back.
Yeah, no worries, no worries.
Sorry, I was talking to myself.
Oh, no
Is
worries.
there a way that I could test the video sound
Yeah.
if it's working?
So you can click.
I want to see if I'm sharing my screen. Does it work? The sound. I really want to. Can I do a test or?
Yeah, you
Yes,
How?
you
can
can test.
present
You just
now on
click
the
present
bottom
now.
right.
Hey, Juliana.
Hey, you made it.
Yes, I made it. It's very. Yeah, it's really crazy. It's been crazy, but that's good. I'm here.
Amazing. Hi, everyone. I work with
Hello there.
Etienne at Alvéole.
Does it work? The sound, like if I do a test with the sound, does it work?
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
working.
Is it the sound is great or?
it's a good level.
Okay, perfect. Oh, we're all set up. Amazing. We got something here.
All
It's perfect.
right. Before we
Working.
begin, Zexy, is it live streamed yet?
So Elspeth,
I'm
is
recording.
it is recording? Okay, perfect. Yeah. So guess we're good. Um, so do you want to start presenting? And just to for the viewers who are here in general, so we're gonna have a Q&A session at the end. So feel free to directly ask your questions to Etienne or Juliana. And Ali, you have the floor to open it up.
Okay, it's my turn. I'm ready to go.
Hmm.
Yeah, whenever you're ready. So we present to you Étienne Lapierre. He'll be speaking about Alvéole. If you read the Facebook post already, you know a bit about Alvéole and it being a social enterprise that specializes in connecting people to the environment through installing rooftop or urban bee. Like the you could better explain it than I can, but getting people involved with bees in urban areas and just bringing them to rooftops around the city. So without further ado, I present to you Étienne Lapierre.
Amazing. Thanks for having me. Thank you for, it's really a beautiful club. I'm very excited with, I've been talking to Aya before, and it was really amazing. So I'm very happy to be here tonight. Okay, so let's, we're six. We're six of us, or there's more people involved?
There's more people watching on Facebook, but there'll be more people joining as you go.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to know who was in with us, perfect. So yes, amazing. Let's start from the beginning. Juliana, thank you for it's actually Juliana. I think you all met together through a mentorship program, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Thank you for connecting the dots. That's it's something that I'm very passionate about, and it's really good. I love it.
My pleasure.
Okay, so let's go back to the beginning. Well, today, the goal of today, I just wanted to explain a little bit my story. And obviously, if you have questions along the way, please ask the questions. I'd love to get the ball rolling, and it will be like, it's gonna be more fun if we're all participating. So don't hesitate to stop me if you have any questions through the Facebook channel. If you want to tap in some questions, don't hesitate, and we'll be able to answer them along the way. So yes, my name is Etienne. I'm one of the three co-founder of Alvéole. So yeah, my journey has been quite something interesting, and today I'll share it with you, and I'll share all the key aspect of it and what came along the journey. And yeah, again, if you have any questions, don't hesitate to stop me. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So I'm actually in Washington right now. Just drove 3 hours from Philly, and I was really last minute. I was stuck in the city, and I was really it's actually my first time in the city. And I just arrived stuck, parked the car, took my luggage, and I'm in the room, just arrived right now. So very excited to be here. Yeah. How's the weather in Montreal? I'm actually not been in Montreal for the last 3 weeks.
It's pretty chilly.
It's chilly?
Yeah, really chilly.
There's some snow, but to be honest, I haven't gone out a lot, so I can't really tell.
Yeah, it's quite something. Yeah, Zoom call all day.
Yeah, that's it.
That's we're all in this together. So yeah, it's and in Washington it's actually raining, so there's no snow outside, and it's yeah, it's been a big drive. So hopefully I took a good coffee, so we'll be all set tonight. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So why I'm here actually in Washington? That's actually a good question we should ask ourselves. It's because I started a company in 2013 that's called Alvéole. And like you were saying, the mission is really reconnecting people to nature. The mission that we decided to structure this company when we started was to create a company that would have a mission that would be connecting people to nature. And why connecting people to nature? It's because when I was 16 years old, I'm actually from Montreal, and myself, I'm from Montreal. The French, I didn't learn English until I started Alvéole, so sorry for my French accent. But it's really that I actually learned English through meetings with my team. I didn't know a word in English and had to speak in English because we were obviously working across Canada when we opened all the city, and I had to learn through meetings and Zoom meetings and a meeting with my team. But my journey, yeah. So I'm from actually the east side of Montreal, but yeah, when I started the story when it all started is Alex and Declan, the two other co-founder, are actually friends from high school. So we met in high school at FACE. It's a school that is downtown in Montreal, and it's a really inspiring school. We learned a lot in the school, and it was really a place where we just really connected really deeply on a deeper level, because we had a music band. We were playing together music. Really passionate about projects. We always had projects. We were really young, and we loved rooftop at a really young age. So we found the key actually of the school, and we went on the roof. When we had the key to the rooftop of the high school, and it was not legal, but we had to do it because we were so inspired by a rooftop. And it's actually something that we our secret that we had from that moment. I'll tell you everything. So and it's actually where it started. The rooftops, and every Friday we would stop to finish school and take the keys and just go on the roof every Friday, just to get a sense of the city and just feel the city, and have a big view, and the lighting at night. It's beautiful rooftops. So that's where we felt the passion to always go on rooftops and views, big views. That was something we really enjoyed when we were young. Then when we were 16 years old, me and Alex, we went to BC. We decided to on some, like when we were at summer, we decided to go to BC, and we did an hiking for 14 days in the nature. Didn't see anyone out there. It was like silent, nature, only nature, for 14 days. And it was quite something. We really, when we came out of the forest, we were like blown away with, restaurants and all this. Like, it was really, it felt like we were in coming out of another world, so it really felt intense, just, the streets, the car, like all the sound, like we're not, we weren't used to it, and it really felt like we had a connection to nature. We really felt that those 14 days were really created a sense of connection, a deeper connection to nature. Then we decided on the way back, we decided to stop in Manitoba, because it was in the middle of we were taking the bus at that time, had no money. I think we left with $200, something like nothing. We had nothing, and so we stopped on the way to make some money, actually, to go back to Montreal and have enough money to go back. And we decided to stop in Manitoba at the uncle of Alex. Okay, so Alex is the CEO of the company, and his uncle is a beekeeper, and I didn't know anything about beekeeping. Nothing. I didn't know what bees were doing. I didn't know why they were existing. I didn't know why beekeeping. Like, what's the beekeeping, keeping bees? Like, I didn't know what it meant. So I stopped there. And the next day we were on the Saturday, and on Monday we were working at 6 a.m. on the field, because we were, learning how to keep bees. And it was crazy. You have to put the full suit, full bee suit. You're like, oh my God, this is why we're doing this. And then you just have tons of beehives, like 50 beehives at one location, and you just open all of them at once. And what was crazy is that all the people that are working in the beekeeping in the industry in Canada, they all come from Nicaragua. I don't know why. It's just I think it's really tough. It's really tough to be a beekeeper. It's really rough on the body, and I don't think anyone in Canada wants to do this job. So it's all Nicaraguans that come from Nicaragua. So all in the bee yard, they only speak Spanish. So it was quite something. I learned Spanish actually in Manitoba, and English. And it was crazy. They were pushing us like, orale, and like just really pushing us to bee sting. It hurt, and then we were like, no, you have to be tough, like, and you had to be really. It was crazy. It was kind of a really interesting moment, and I felt in love with beekeeping. I just felt in love with just everything about beekeeping, the nature, the connection to nature, how a beehive is functioning, all the roles inside the hive, it's a society. It's so much. It's never ending process where you always learn. And that's where I kept this passion from this moment where we first opened the hive. And what's amazing is that we always came back to this place 4 years in a row. And I don't know why we decided to go back, but I was really intense. I was actually the one pushing for going back. I was always the person who was at the vision in the company. I'm always like trying to kind of the crazy person who's actually always pushing the limit. And I said to Alex and Declan that we had to go back because there was something there. I just felt that everything was, there was woodworking, there was a lot of it's an open space. Again, it actually looks like a rooftop when you're in Manitoba, because you're actually like, there's so much land and there's so much sky that you're actually feeling that you're on a rooftop once you're actually there. So anyway, so I felt that it was a place that we had to go back. And I was studying music at McGill, and for me, just going outside, the city for at least a month was really important for me, just to get a connection to nature, something that was tangible. Music is really, sometimes it's not really tangible. It's just it's in the air, like you're just trying to connect people to the present moment through music. But I thought that the beekeeping aspect was really tangible, and my hands were like dirty. You had to do something with your body, and you had to connect with nature. Like the only way to, and you had to be in the present too. And that was, I think, the connection between music and beekeeping that I felt was really interesting. So during the year, I was studying music 8 hours a day. I was practicing in a practicing room, and then I was playing scales. Music. I had to learn all the jazz standards, and I was on in the summer. I was going back to Manitoba for a month, all the time. So I did that for 4 years until 20 years old. After 4 years, we decided to stop going to Manitoba because it's really far, and we decided to bring one hive in the city. So we decided with one hive just to see how it was, with no expectation. We just bought one hive, and we were really excited. We were like, "Oh my God, we're buying a hive! It's going to be crazy!" And we started with one beehive. We installed the beehive. We did install it on the rooftop first. It didn't work at all. The people were, I don't know why. It was actually on a rented apartment, and we decided to put it on the roof, and we didn't ask the landlord. Bad idea. We learned a lesson here. Don't do it. Always ask first and get the landlord to involve in the project. It's always better. So that was the first lesson we learned. But a really interesting one. And then we decided to just bring down the beehive, and we left the beehive at the grandfather of Alex backyard in Westmount. He had a big backyard, and we just placed the hive in the backyard. And for a full summer, we decided to work with the beehive, and it was incredible. The whole, everything we learn in beekeeping in the commerce, in Manitoba, we sort of had another perspective on what we've created. It was completely another connection. It was a different connection because we were in the city. We loved our city. Like, we knew all the parks. We were biking everywhere, and Montreal is such a beautiful city, and we rediscovered the city from because of the bees that were in the backyard. So that was a really magical moment. And what was really interesting is that every time we were opening the hive, there was people from the neighbor just popping out, like, just, they were always like, and in Westmount, I don't know if it's really hard to connect with people, usually with your neighbors, like, and we were obviously, like, we weren't living there, like, we were just the kids from the grandfather, but people were, all the time we were opening the hive, people were coming from the neighborhood every time, and we didn't ask anyone, like, it wasn't like something planned. And that was crazy for us. It was like, oh wow, people are really interested about this. It's a fascinating species, and people are curious about bees. It's something that I think we all have, and I think it comes from a long, I think it comes from us as human. I think we've always been curious of society and just how people can function together and build something that's going to last. I think it's in our body. We always wanted to learn about bees, and Egyptian did. Everyone I think from the past did something for bees. So that's where we decided to say, you know what, we're just gonna try to bring this to every person should have a connection with bees in the city, and that's how we started. Just simply out of that, we started with one hive, and just having the connection and people coming to the hive, we said, okay, this is crazy. There's something in this. We have to bring it to every person in a city should have a connection with nature and should have a connection with bees or urban agriculture as a whole. So that's where it started. And what's crazy is that I'll share with you right now a video that we did, and it's actually a video. We were 22 years old. Well, how old are you right now? I'm just actually curious.
Well, it's actually Zexi's birthday today, so he just turned 19.
Oh, happy birthday! Yes,
Happy
Thank you
birthday.
so much. Thanks.
yes, love it. 19 years old. Okay, that's crazy. Okay, so
Yeah.
you're at the best moment in life. It's the best moment to actually open your ears and just listen and do what you love. It's actually the best moment, and it's exactly that in that year that we decided to install the hive, and then we launched the company in 2013. So I just had 23 years old actually. So yeah. So it was quite something, and we just launched a website with one video. The website was just one video, like that's it. No, there was nothing on the website, just video and call to action, like give her information if you're interested. We didn't know nothing about internet and the web and all this. We were like, okay, let's try to make it clean and nothing. And I was in love, passionate about design, and I really loved. I was also the mindset of the marketing and how to present the brand and all this. The logo was also, we took a dictionary and we just flipped the page, and we just took beekeeping. Okay, beekeeping Montreal, beekeeping MTL, beekeeping. Like we took all the words we could find, and then through beekeeping we find Alvéole was actually a cell, and it's actually a part of the heart too, which is kind of cool. It's a part of the heart of a human. It's called the alvéole. So we felt that, oh wow, it's actually the cell which can fill that actually is really important in the hive, because it's actually the cell is really important, because it's actually the place where you leave the eggs. So all the regeneration of the colony comes from a cell, from an actual alveole, and also all the food is stuck in a cell, an alveole. So it's actually a really important component of the hive, because it's actually what makes it come together. It's actually the cell. So that's where it comes and obviously a lot of wine, and you need to take a little bit of wine to find a good name. It's actually a really important. Rosé, that was it. That's why every brainstorm we have, it's always rosé. It's something that I don't know why, it's just a part of the brainstorms. So anyway, so that's where we came up with the logo, and my cousin did the logo. So I have no money. We had no money. We didn't invest $1 in the Alvéole when we started, not $1. We had the video was a friend. We asked, do you want to do a video for us? It's going to be amazing. We have we're going to put beehives all across the city. We asked my cousin for the logo. I didn't pay him nothing for the logo. And now it's everywhere in the world, and we decided, just with a purpose, a mission and a passion, you can do so much in life. It's incredible. People, and also I think a lesson here that's really important is every people that is around you is so much value. Like everyone has a talent that you don't have, and if you actually ask and just say this, this is a project I have, it's incredible how people will be generous if you are generous with them. So that was actually a lesson that I learned really early in that. And I think it's part of the mission and the culture also of Alvéole. We all have strength at Alvéole, and we all use our strength in order to create value for all of us. It's really something that we believe in, and it's incredible how the value is around you. It's not elsewhere, in Washington. I have no value right now. Like I'm alone. I don't know anyone in Washington, but I'll create the value. I understand how people can become value from for both of us. We can win from connection. So anyway, so that was a really interesting part. And when you go back from the start, you actually understand that there is there is no exchange of money, or it's not money at the end of the day that's creating interesting things. It's actually when you really connect with people and you believe in them, and you try to bring them up. So my cousin right now, he's a graphic designer. He was hired by Apple to work with in San Francisco. He did put this Alvéole logo in his actual how do you call that? Sorry, just the his website. There was a page on Alvéole branding. The logo on the trucks and the logo and everywhere. Never know where it's gonna go. Everything you do in life is gonna bring you somewhere. So you gotta surround yourself with people that are creators and builders. So I'll share you the video, and then it's actually with no money, no money involved. You'll see how it started. And the last shot, look, pick. It's all improvisation. At the end of the video, there's a shot that is actually an improvisation. It's actually a moment where we opened the hive and someone came in the shot and the shooting. And you'll see. I'll ask you a couple of questions regarding the last shot. Okay, so pay attention to the last shot at the end of the video. Sounds good. Is everyone?
Yeah.
If I share my screen, are you seeing my screen right now?
Yes.
I won't see you. So if you have questions, you want to stop or do anything, please. I don't see you. So so I'll start from the beginning. Okay. Sounds good. You see my screen?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, let's go. It's in French though, but
Les villes sont des espaces fascinants. C'est très intéressant la manière dont les gens se déplacent, comment les gens cohabitent et travaillent ensemble.
Do you understand if it's in French or?
Ouais, ça marche. We're pretty much bilingual, I think.
Okay, perfect. Okay.
Rapidement, on se rend compte de l'impact énorme des villes et de notre manque d'autonomie en matière d'alimentation. Nos villes dépendent plus que jamais de la production locale afin de survivre. Nous sommes plusieurs à se pencher sur de nouvelles manières pour manger plus frais, avoir de l'air plus pur et se reconnecter un peu avec la nature. Selon nous, il faut commencer avec les abeilles. Une colonie, c'est près de 50 000 abeilles et une seule reine. Les abeilles visitent 2000 fleurs par jour. Et chaque goutte de nectar qu'elles ramènent à la ruche est transformée en miel. Elles sont responsables pour la pollinisation de plus d'un tiers de notre nourriture. Notre projet, c'est Alvéole. C'est un regroupement d'apiculteurs urbains, d'artistes visuels et de designers. On veut répandre l'apiculture urbaine à Montréal et rendre la production de miel plus locale que jamais. Au Québec, la majorité de notre miel est importée. On fournit tout simplement pas. En installant des ruches dans notre cour ou sur notre toit, nous sauvons non seulement une espèce menacée, mais on revoit l'ensemble de nos pratiques concernant la production, le transport et la qualité de notre nourriture. Nous sommes convaincus du rôle primordial de l'abeille. En vous aidant à installer une ruche, en vous transmettant nos connaissances et en partageant notre passion, nous allons changer le paysage urbain de Montréal.
All right. It's funny. Even the music is actually one of our friends.
It was really well made, really inspiring.
Yeah, it's crazy that was all for free. No money. It was like really well made.
Yeah, it's crazy, huh? Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, the shot at the end, what you felt was kind of strange at the end. That what was it like? You know, if you were like from your perspective right now, like what was funny at the end of the video with the kid that was out holding the frame? Is there something that you felt that was special or?
Well, like I don't know. Usually, if they're holding the frame, I'd expect them to be with the whole suit on, because usually that's the image that you see.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what I was searching.
Oh, okay.
But it's so you see that there's no bee suit. He's actually really calm, and what's amazing is that it's his first time seeing a beehive in his life. And he was right on the corner when we were shooting, and he was like, "Hey, can I see?" And we said, "Yeah, sure, come." And then that became the shot of in the video. And what's amazing is that this moment, we call it the frame moment, and it's actually the moment where you actually take the frame for the first time in your life, and then you're stuck for life with bees, because the moment you take a frame in your hand, you actually feel so powerful and so like, what? They're not stinging me. They're actually really calm, and you feel that you're calm too, and you're sort of responding to you're communicating with them a little bit. And it's actually like a moment where you're shifting. You're not able to come back to normal after that. It's the frame moment. So anyway, so that's something that was not expected to happen, but now it's just being something that we are. It's been part of every employee that comes to Alvéole. It's actually something that we share. I think Juliana, you remember your first day when we opened the culture of Alvéole. It's all based on this video. It's still relevant to this day. So it's actually it's pretty amazing when you think about it. So that was something that I wanted to share, just to give you a sense of how a small idea was something that's I think in entrepreneurship and having a business, it's always it needs to start with an ideal, a passion, and a mission, and then there's a product that can come from it, a service that you can sell out of it. But if you want to start something that's going to last and something that's be valuable, and you feel empowered, it needs to start with a mission. Really, mission is really important. A passion that you have for this mission, and then you need to create that service that will be an offer that will be interesting for the people on the other end. And what's interesting in sales, because Juliana is in sales, and I became along the way also attached to sales, and what's crazy is that now I'm sales director of the company. And it's really not what I expected from the beginning. When I started Alvéole, I'd never expected to be in sales. I'm not a salesperson. I'm not I never learned how to sell. I always thought, you put a product out there and people will buy it. It's the way it works. But it's what's interesting is that finally, like through learning at Alvéole, when we started, we only had 30 clients. So 30, the first 30 clients were ETHQ, a school with it's one of our first clients. It's still a client from to this day, ETHQ. And then there was Arop, which is no, not Arop. An architect firm in Montreal. I forgot the name. And there was also Covadis, which is an amazing place in South Shore of Montreal. It's where the office of it's actually an old building on St. Patrick Street, and the actual owner of this building is amazing. She's called Nathalie Volant, and she's really that would be a good person actually to invite here. She's amazing. She's such she's an amazing woman. She's really powerful and really a lot of vision to really like how to build a city that's gonna have a story, some tangible, create space where people connect together and really have an experience. She actually taught us about how to build our business by just explaining how she felt the service was great for her, and how she was giving the jars of honey to her tenants. The whole story came down to what she's told us. So that's how I sort of learned about real estate, and that's where we've sort of created the service that now we have. And what's amazing is that we always doubled, which is kind of really interesting. Is it's never been 30 clients, 300 clients. It always been 30, 60, 120, 240, and then 500, 1,000, 2,000 client, and it's always doubling. Which is kind of interesting. It's you also, like, if you want to grow, you need to grow naturally, and also because if you're going through steep or too slow, you're also it always depends on the business, but for us it was a good way to learn, because every year you add a chance to redesign your service and do something with it. And because we are a beekeeping service, we had the winter to restructure the service. So every year we were restructuring the service. Every year we were like, adding something new, a workshop or a different thing that we would, the hive, you put the logo on the hive, or, we were always creating something new every year in order to create, a value for all our clients. So that was something really interesting. And having a perspective on what you do is really important too. Step back, like always, and ask questions to your client. Everything we do is the client that are telling us everything. We never did something that came from us. Like, it's always the client who told us. Every answer that you have, like if you want to know what to do, how to do it, and what to do, how to start a business, ask the client. Ask the person who's actually bought the service, what you have, and just ask, what do you like about what we do? What do you love? What you feel that is the best thing in the world about our service? What do you think we should do in the future? Those questions are amazing questions, and everything you'll ask, the client will tell the truth. You'll tell the truth about your business. So that's actually a really important advice. If you start a business, put your service out there. Only have 2 clients, and just ask what they love about the service. It looks kind of weird to do, because when you start a business, you're like, no, I don't want to ask my clients, what they like about their service. They just bought it. It's kind of like you feel a bit it's hard to ask your client, but it's not. It's like it's a human on the other end. It's always and also in business, it's 2 humans that are interacting. There's nothing. It's not something that's really complicated. It's 2 person interacting and having a conversation, and actually like deciding to move ahead with something that's win-win. There's a situation where there's a win-win situation, So ask questions about what they love, and then you're going to create your business based on your client, and that's how you're going to grow. It's so that's actually a really big lesson that we've learned. And still to this date, we're trying to have that also connection with clients. So every month we try to connect with clients and ask them still, what do you love about our service? Even in the COVID situation, what do you love about us? Why you're staying with us? We're actually asking those questions because they are the important question to ask. Because yeah, and it is something that we've learned along the way. But if I was to restart the business, I would do this earlier in the process. I would start by right away. I would ask the client. I would be really curious about, and go visit them. Ask what they do, and the more you become, you feel your client with their pain, what they love, what they feel, what they see, what they touch, what they experience in a day, the more you're going to be able to create a business that's going to leverage them and leverage you in the same way. Because every time you grow, you're actually growing with your clients. It's actually and that's what one of our values at Alvéole is: we grow together. So it means for us, like as a company, we're growing. Obviously, the more clients, the more we grow. But also as a team, we grow. Every time we add a client, we're actually growing the company, and it means more opportunity for all of us. So, and for clients too, is as we grow, we go to another city. So if we go to another city, it's actually bringing the service to another city. So it's actually making them grow to another city. So that's one of our value that we have, and it's been also something that I feel that is relevant to every company in the world. You should be seeing your potential into like in the client that you have. So that's one, and another lesson that we learned throughout the process. So right now,
I had a question, if that's fine. So it was really inspiring, and I really found the idea of having your service, working with people, like it's really innovative, and I find that it's really great. I was just wondering, I just wanted to clarify, like, and understand a bit more the service.
Yeah.
So is it beekeeping packs that you offer to like businesses, and then every month you assist them? Like how does it work?
Love it. Okay, that's a really good question. It's actually a question that is really important. So what we do, so we are, a beekeeping service for companies. And what we do and how it works is it's a turnkey service. We install a beehive on the rooftop of a building where there's a company that is actually on site, and we create engagement and activities around the hive to create to actually make people connect together and learn and educate themselves on the bees, but also to create a sense of connection with nature. So those are the so the service is really simple. We install the hive on the roof. We come every 3 weeks and we visit the hive to make sure the hive is healthy and the bees are doing well and there's enough space on the hive. Like, because when we start a season, there's 20,000 bees in the hive, but when we finish the season, there's 50,000 bees. So it's doubling. The hive is doubling too. That's why the doubling, like we always double, because a season, when you do it well and you're being passionate and you really care about the hive, it's going to double. It's going to create them. And that's why as a beekeeper, you're trying to add space to the hive in order to make sure that the bees have enough space to put all the honey, all the resources that they collect in the environment. So
do the I was like, do the business the ones who live like in the building, do they get to also participate?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So every visit, it's a calendar that's fixed, and they can see when the beekeeper is actually coming. So at a specific moment, and they can actually come to the on site if they want to stop working and just have a little break and go see the beekeeper. And that's the goal. We want to make sure that they feel, they understand the story of the hive. And every season is different. Every environment is different, and every beehives is different. So that's why it's really interesting. And what we do is we also have workshops. So those are activities, and we do them right now virtually. obviously, but it's actually really fun. We've seen that there's hundreds of people that now have access to an actual beekeeping activities that they can just log in and from their computer and have access to the actual hive in real time, and that's been really successful for us. It's been really happening. And another thing that's also is really interesting is they get their honey at the end of the year. And honey, every honey from every hive is different because of the location. So when you put a hive, and that's really interesting too, because that goes back to your environment is so important. As human is the same. Okay, so you put the beehive in this on the roof. Let's say right now I'm in a hotel. Like if I put the beehive here, the honey from the right next door, like from the front in the other building right in front of us, will be different from here. Why? Because the radius of a hive, they've traveled 5 kilometers from the hive. So it's actually the neighborhood that they're going to travel to. And the honey that they're going to bring back to the hive is actually the radius of what's, potentially, the zoning that they can travel to. So if you have a hive that is right next door, like 2 blocks away, it's going to be a different radius from the hive that you have on your roof. So every hive is different, and every honey that you're going to get at the end of the year is actually unique. So that's actually really interesting. Yeah.
If you want me to show everyone the difference.
Oh yes, amazing. Yeah, that's amazing.
Little product placement. I have okay, hold on, let me turn off my my background thing so you guys can see.
That's amazing.
Trying to wrap. So this is from Quebec, our little Alvéole honey, and I went to Trois-Rivières last weekend, and they also make honey there, but you can see how dark it is. So like that's the difference. It's so cool.
Wow.
This is amazing. Thank you, Juliana. This is amazing.
I think another question. Someone raised their hand. Bea, would you like to ask?
Yeah, so I had a question. Have you had to ever tell somebody no for a beehive for just like basic access to like flowers or like dangers close to like a gas burning place? I don't know.
Yeah, it's actually a good question. Location is key. In every projects that we do, we go through a pretty strict process of location. So we actually have to visit the site through Google Earth, and there's a kind of a certificate of location that we provide in order to make sure that the hive is going to be a place that is safe for the bees and for the people that are around the bees. But it's not that big. Beehive is 2 feet by 2 feet, so it's pretty small. And in terms of the restriction, it's pretty simple. We just need to have an open space in front of the hive so the bees can actually fly up in the sky. And it's 6 feet that we need in front of the hive. And usually there is we never had a location that was not safe, because we're going through a pretty strict protocol every time we install a hive. But also what we do though, in terms of limiting the number, we limit the numbers of hive per location. That's something that we do in order to stay, to have, to let the chance into every building to have this opportunity of having a beehive. We limit the amount of beehive that we put on the rooftop. So it's, it's not, it doesn't be, it's not like in Manitoba where we were like opening 50 hives at a time. It's a little bit more, it's based more on education. So the goal is not to make tons of honey, and it's more to create a connection with the bees and make sure that people feel proud of like their jar. That is a really small jar, but they feel really proud of that small jar that they receive at the end of the year. And I think that's important too, because we tend to feel that nature is just something that we can, there's always going to be resources, and just having a limited amount of honey that you get at the end of the year makes people understand that, oh wow, okay, so 50,000 bees only gets me 100 jars. With a small jar like this is crazy. It's 50,000 worker bees that work there all year round to make this little, it's a tablespoon of honey that they produce. Like every bees, what they produce is a tablespoon of honey. So can you imagine the work there is behind this? So I think that's an important component, is to also make sure that people understand that it is really hard. It is, a lot of work, and nature and food, behind every, thing that we eat, there is a process, and the process is really something that we need to value more, I feel. And yeah, and we have to pay more too. And I think that's something that's so that we have to learn. It's through production. When you actually understand the process, you actually understand that there's it doesn't make sense to pay a tomato like 50 cents. It's not, it doesn't create a process that is healthy. There is something that's not working there. So that's why we think, by creating this kind of project on site and having people to understand, the process, we think that they're going to make better choice in terms of also what they buy, and what they, because anything that's, local, is going to make a big difference for bees at the end of the day, So yeah, it's a good question. It's a really good question. I think I went a little bit further with the question, but it's a really good one. I love that.
I have one question before, and then we'll let Bea close it off. I have to head out because we're right towards the end of our at our 7 o'clock time.
Oh,
but I was just wondering, during the pandemic, how have you maintained community involvement with the hives?
Oh wow, that's a beautiful question. My God, I love that question. It's to be honest with you, at first when the pandemic happened, we a bit freaked out. To be honest with you, and we made a pretty bad decision. And I think that's something I want to share with you. We actually, instead of innovating and being like on proactive, like we just stopped everything, because we were like, as sales went really low, everything was stopped in the process. So we decided to stop for a couple of days. And what happened is when we stopped, I had to bring back the whole team back after 2 weeks. I decided to it wasn't the right choice, and I will never do this again in my entire life. To stop, never stop. Actually, you shouldn't stop. You should always find solution, and the solution will come from your team. It's actually like it. So what we should have done is actually do enough site where we just take a full day and we just sit down with everyone and say, what we're gonna do. What's the solution we can provide to our clients. Ask our clients, also like we should have called the client and find solution with them. So that was a pretty bad decision we made. But we didn't know what were the government, what the help the government would have what program they would construct. So it was, I think, good decision at this time. But because we were in big growth, like we were opening 7 cities in the States, and everything was shut down. So we were kind of panicking a little bit because the investments were done. The cars were bought. Everything was ready to go. So we had big loans taking, and we were like, okay, so if there's no sales, we're just gonna, it's gonna be a bankruptcy, But I think going back to this, we should have said, we're gonna move ahead, and just find a solution with what we have. And what's amazing is we finally found amazing solution with the team. When we brought the team back, amazing solution came back from the team. And we have created a virtual, like I said, a virtual proposition with workshops that are made online and with activities, so people can actually, go on site and see the actual beehives and everything. And people are they're in love with it. So it's actually pretty amazing. And we also add a MyHive page. I can easily I know we don't have a lot of time. One second. Give me 1 second. I'll just share it with you. We add something that we've built from the past years. We actually, it's called MyHive. And you see my screen?
Yeah,
you're good.
So it's actually a website where we see the hives in real time. So if you go to a location like Ports of Toronto, that's the actual page where you see the beehive. You see the honey. What happened during the season, the pollinator beehive. Like there's a big. You see the actual season. You can see from the season. So let's say, how the hive. So they were at 2 box in July 24th. and you know the temperature of the day, what's cold. The bees are forming a mass around the queen. You know, there's all this information that we've launched, and it's a website that every location that we have in service have access to, so they can book their visits, they can book their workshop. So they have access to this platform that is, and it's something we've created, and that was also like we didn't thought about the pandemic, but it actually brought a lot more people into my hive. So that was a really happy ending. There's always a solution. Yeah, it's always around you again. We had this built from for the last 2 years, and we never really used it. And with the pandemic, everyone is now using it, and we are investing a lot in this right now because we feel that this is the future, and it is something that competition won't be able to do if they. So, yeah, there's always a solution. Yeah, sorry, I extended the question a little bit.
No problem. Elspeth, I think you had a question.
Yeah, sure. Beatrice, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but okay, you're good. Okay. Yeah, no, just you found your passion at such a young age. And it's like it's a very unique passion. It's wonderful. But I can see like maybe some people when you're like trying to figure out going to university, things like that, might have not been as supportive and said, you won't be able to be successful in beekeeping. I mean, I think it's amazing you just kept going straight ahead with it. But how did you know, manage to manage these comments and sort of just keep believing in yourself to just go ahead with your passion?
It's a really good question, because it's actually a question I asked myself before coming in today. I think what's funny with passion, I think it's such an interesting subject, because I think it's so important. It's such an important part of as you grow, you have to need. It's actually the fuel that you're in your car. If you don't have fuel, you're not moving. So the passion is actually it's gonna be the fuel, but don't put too much pressure on it needs to be one thing. I think that's the thing that I would say, because we are in this, everything is changing so much. I was in music. My passion was music at school, but then I had a friend who decided to bring me, like, you never know what life where life will bring you. And I think passion is just being open and curious about things that are around you. Don't put too much pressure on finding one passion and one thing that you're gonna love. I think be open to all kind of things that you want to do, and try to do them. I think that would be the ideal way to in order to create something that's going to be valuable in your journey. Because I feel that sometimes we tend to think that there is one thing we need to do in life. We're going to be a lawyer, and then we're going to have a career. But I think that the lawyer that are doing more than being a lawyer are actually a lot. I think they're having a pretty nice career, because they're being open, and they're more than just what people think. The sticker that they have on their CV. And I think that's actually a really important part of who we are as a society right now, our generation. We need to be open to do more than one thing, and I think that's going to be something that's going to. And it's funny, because every person that I've discovered in my life that was really interesting and a really good mentor were people that were had the openness to do more than one thing. And I feel that you all are, because you're interested in entrepreneurship right now. So it means that you want to grow. You want to do something else, and you want to understand other things and other perspective on life, and this is really important.
Yeah, perfect. I know. I love that response. I don't know if we have time for more, Zexi, or.
Yes, it's really up to you, Etienne. Are you fine with time?
No, I'm at the hotel. I have nothing to do.
Okay, perfect.
I have tons of things to do, but I'm actually here with you, and I'm very enjoying this conversation. So I'm going to stay as long as you have questions, and then we're I'm open.
Perfect, thank you. Elspeth,
Yeah, sure.
you can go ahead.
Yeah, I can just keep going on ahead. We did write down some few questions on the side, but I was actually curious. Just in terms of winter, it's a bit of a different question, not COVID related, but just winter in general. I don't know how beekeeping works, but I'm assuming you don't produce honey during the winter, and I'm assuming you can't really do the like put beehives on roofs. I'm just like
No.
and so I'm assuming you don't really make as much income or along the line to you have to manage the whole business differently. I feel like the
Mm.
part that's marketed is really, the summer and spring. I'll when you can actually go outside and be with the bees, but then like the winter side of the company. I'm just curious about that and how that works.
Mm. It's a really good question, because yeah, from the exterior, it feels that on winter we're like off, and it's a break for us, but it's actually the month that we are the most busy, because we are like, you can ask Juliana. We're actually like building the future season in winter. So we are like creating loads of connections, and we're trying to get people to know about us, and to actually connect with people. And we're putting new cities every year. So there is a lot to do. But it's a really good question because, um, in terms of income, and the way it's structured, we it's an annual fee. So people are always paying for the year, the first of Jan. So in terms of a cash flow, that's a really important question. So when you also start a business, always think about when people will pay, because it's really important. It's going to create the value to you, for you to have the to reinvest in your business, and always get the money before you actually deliver. Because if you deliver and you don't have the money, you'll be stuck, because you won't be able to reinvest in your company. So that's a really important question. When you do, and that would be another lesson that is really important. Terms of payment are key in the growth of your company. If the terms of payment are not, before you actually deliver, you're going to be stuck when you're going to want to grow. So it's an annual fee. It's the 1st of January. We get the payments. And that was really important for COVID, because obviously the bank was full when we got in March. And no one could stop the service, because everyone paid in 1st of Jan. So that's a really important part. So I would say, what we do during winter, we grow the city, we open cities. So we do a lot of sales. So Juliana and I are working in the sales team, and we connect with people. We approach new people. We try to connect with them and help them find ways to have beehives on the roof. And we also build a lot of the systems that we're going to be working with during the year. So all the apps, there's a lot of technology in what we do, and all the apps of what are you, like beekeepers, when they woke up during the morning, they open their cell, and they know what run they're going to do. So they know exactly which client they're going to visit, what they need to bring to the visits, what's happened last visits. They know what they said they were going to bring. They know client experience notes on the client. They know the last picture they took on the hive. It's opened in the platform, so they can deliver the best service in the world. And that's another thing that is really important when you create something, that a service, is you need to know the client, and the story. So that's an actual an app that we created, but only internally. It's only internally. It's only for us as a team to really deliver the best service and know what to be on time, and to have a clear schedule that we're following along the year.
Yeah, that's
So we're
awesome.
always investing in technology, creating new connections in sales, and also trying to get onboarding, a lot of training. Everyone is doing training right now. We're like, the full day, like the whole company is like, it's like a school right now. We're opening like Zoom, and every day there's 25 people learning about the new service, and there are new managers in Seattle. We opened Seattle this year. Pedro is the new city manager, and now he's in the Zoom every day, like learning the Bible of Alvéole, and just everything how we do things, what are the values, what are the vision of the company, how we're going to grow, what are the clients, and all this. So we learn, we grow, and we reinforce operation.
Yeah, that's perfect. Actually, I don't know if Zex has a quick question, but I was just reminded. Actually, my last year of high school, Ms. Eggers and Ms. Cramps. I don't know if you know school, but just Westmount. They invested in the company,
Yeah,
and yeah, I remember they put up a live stream on YouTube. Um, and I
nice.
was only there for I only remember 1 year because it was last year I was there. But I tuned in a few times, and you could see the bees flying around up on the rooftop. It was amazing, and a good few people like tuned in. It was really good learning tool for a lot of younger kids there. Everyone really liked it. But yeah, no, it reminded me quickly. I was like, oh wait, yes, this is so familiar to me, and I know why now.
Amazing. On schools, we have 150 schools in
Wow.
Montreal, and it's actually more in the English part of the city. And because the English board is actually the best, there you have the best board in Quebec. There's
Good to hear it.
it's actually the most yeah. People are amazing, and we have the best school, and schools are just amazing. It's incredible because actually when we were in high school, me and Alex and Declan, we would have loved to have this in a school. So I think it's just great to see that you had a beehive at your school. It's amazing.
Yeah, no,
Think about it.
yeah,
Like
no, I loved looking at it. It was one of those things where you can just sort of stare at it for hours on end and just like, oh, little bees. And we actually had like a few of sort of rooftop windows where you could like look up into the skylights and you could see them here and there flying around.
wow,
Yeah,
that's
it was a
amazing.
really nice experience. Yeah, it's wonderful for students, just anyone in general, but for students,
Yeah,
it's a very innovative way to actually become interested in something and learn more. It's really
exactly.
amazing. It's amazing. Yeah.
Oh wow, very happy. That's amazing.
Well, thank you.
It's fun.
Yeah, I'm a bit jealous of Elspeth here. Yeah, I wish I had that at my school too. So I was wondering, like, is there going to be eventually an opportunity for me, like, as a household or individual, to have the product like just on my house and not like even if I'm not a business?
It's a really good question. What we try to do in workshops and all the things that we create, we try to say to people, plant flowers. Be really engaged in nature and plant flowers. And what and bees, it's really an interesting. It's really hard to manage, and it's really hard. There's a lot of component and to beekeeping. Yeah, you need an extractor, you need a lot of equipment, and it's really hard to do it by yourself at home. We used to offer it for people at home, but we would do everything for them. So they were buying the extractor, they weren't buying all the equipment. So what I would say is definitely I would encourage you to beekeep, but maybe more. Um, yeah, again, you can try to do it. It's really fun. But what we encourage people to do is bring it to a school or bring it to an organization where there's a lot of people that could benefit from the beehive. So actually, we have more people engaging with a beehive than only one person in their backyard. So we try to create more like a beehive. We try to have projects where people are construct like all working together, in a place, and that's where we find that the spots in the city that are the most there's more potential when there's more people. But again, I think at home there's planting flowers, gardening, planting fruit trees. Those are things that we try to encourage people, because the more we plant, the more all pollinators in the city will be happy. So and it's beautiful too. Flowers are just amazing. We need more flowers.
Yeah, I can imagine. Beatrice, sorry.
I had just one question. I don't know if you answered it already, but what do you do with like the beeswax that's left over? Because I went over your website and you give the honey back,
Yeah.
the beeswax.
Oh, it's really good. We actually extract the beeswax too, and it's actually the top of the cells. When we extract the honey, like you just scrape the honeycomb, and this is how you actually get the wax out of the frame. And we extract it, we filter the wax, and then we use it in products. So we do use it in soaps, lip balm, and candles that we also give back to clients along the season. It's actually really nice. They're not available on the website because we tend to sell them to our, again, corporation and organization, but they're an amazing product. They're just beeswax is such an amazing. It's marvelous. Like there's so much. It's natural, and it's just everything is in there. It's the it's the heart of nature. It's really powerful, and really nice in terms of smell. I love it. But but that's what we do with it. We reuse everything in the process. We don't throw anything in the garbage. We reuse everything, and we try to also, we have workshops that in schools. We also do workshops when you can make your own candles and all this. So we try to give the process so everyone knows how to do it, and learn how to make their own candles. Because a candle is so fun. It's little candles. You write piece of paper. Those are really good moments. So yeah, that's what we do with the beeswax.
Yeah, no, I had no clue that there's so much you could actually do with all the leftovers. But I just do have a quick question. I didn't realize that there's the honey, because I use your honey as like in my fridge. But I've only sorry, I've only seen the darker brand, I suppose you could say, or the honey that's looks darker, thicker. And I didn't know that there's variations and it depended on like the different regions. I was wondering if it says anywhere on the labeling of the bottle like where it comes from, because I find it so interesting. And I was wondering if I could in some way sort of just see or track it. I like honey a lot, so I
Yeah.
can get where you're coming from.
We're gonna have to send you a box, so you have a taster.
Oh,
We'll
absolutely.
have to
I'm
send
here
it
for
to
that.
Gina. I'll give you a box, so you can bring it to
Oh,
Mem.
absolutely.
Yeah, it'd be nice so everyone has a tasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll give you. It's every neighborhood is different
Okay.
in Montreal. So in what's interesting is Westmount and the West Island. It's more. There's lots of linden, so the honey is really light, really light, and it's really tasty. It tastes like mint. It's really beautiful. I love this honey. It's my favorite. And then there's the actual plateau is where it's a bit darker. It's a lot of cherry in the honey, like really like thicker and red. And then you have the Villeray, which is on the fruit, because Plateau Villeray is a neighborhood where Petite Italy, lots of Italian planted a fruit tree in the backyards. It was part of the culturally that this is what they do. They have a house and then they just plant a fruit trees. It's just part of and it's actually tastes in the honey, like the honey tastes apple trees and fruit trees. And then there is the east side of Montreal, which is also really dark, and then the south shore of Montreal is really it's more of it almost tastes like orange, like it's really amazing too. I really but my favorite is the linden tree. It's beautiful. It's light, and it's beautiful. It just brings all the ingredients up when you put it in a salad or anything. It just brings everything up. Like it doesn't. It's beautiful. I love that the honey. But we'll give you a taster so you can taste them.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no to that.
Your favorite, and we can.
No, that's so cool. I had no clue that it actually depended on I suppose like geographical location, but at the same time it really reflects on just the different cultures, especially like
Yeah.
you mentioned the Italian and the families in the trees. I had no idea about that. That is so cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing, and because nature is actually a reflection of a little bit of where what's the history, yeah. So it's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the Montreal is just it's like the cimetière, the
Cemetery.
cemetery
Okay.
is actually a place where there's so much kind of trees. It's actually the honey, like near, if you have hives near the cemetery, it's really it's amazing. It's actually it's a place where there's so much trees that are actually unique. So it's beautiful.
Yeah,
It's actually a place I really enjoy in Montreal.
yeah.
This
No,
place.
it's beautiful. Yeah, you could write a
Yeah.
whole paper about this. Yeah, I mean, there's so much here, right? It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's good
Yeah.
stuff. I don't know if anyone else has a question.
Yeah, definitely excited to test it. I mean, like just seeing the different variations, like it seems so interesting. I never knew about it, so
Yeah.
definitely the London tree. It's yeah, it looks really appealing. But with that, I hope one day Marianopolis has the opportunity as well to have Alvéole join us on our rooftops. We'll definitely be sharing a story with the administration. That's for sure.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, definitely.
I think it'd be a great project, and we've been trying to start a garden. It's in progress, but I think it would really complement well with having a alveol pack on top. So.
That'd be amazing. Juliana, we need to get the we'll if you want us to do another presentation or like with another team or anyone in your organization, we'd love to do it. It'd be a pleasure to work with the
I'm
Marianopolis.
actually very interested about doing this. I don't know who to contact, but
yeah, we'll be sharing the video on YouTube and throughout all our platforms. So definitely, student body will hear about it. With that being said, I know you're short on time. Well, thank you for taking more time to answer our questions. It was really fun having both of you, Juliana and Etienne. Yes. And I'll give the closing word to Elspeth or Beatrice if you have anything.
Well, I'll just, I mean, I said before, but I really enjoyed the presentation today. I feel like a lot of, even if nobody has had the honey itself, I feel like everyone knows the name or recognizes it. It's like familiar to Montreal. And it's just wonderful to actually, hear you talk about it because it's obvious that you're super passionate. And so, I mean, you said that you weren't trained in being a salesman, but I mean, I feel like the passion speaks for itself, right? You don't really need training to be able to just talk about it so in such a happy manner. It makes people want to listen. But yeah, no, just thank you, and I feel, I mean, everyone who's gonna watch this will definitely enjoy it as well. Yeah.
Amazing. Thank you for everything. It's beautiful. I'm very happy to where we had this discussion tonight. Thank you, Juliana. Thank you to the whole team. It's beautiful.
Yeah. If that's okay, would you be okay to stay 2 minutes after Elspeth ends the live stream?
For sure. Yes, definitely.
Great.
Yes, and yeah, thank you, Juliana, again for organizing everything.
You guys are welcome. Don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.
Perfect.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thanks, guys.
I just wanted to say, so really thank you for coming and joining us today. Originally we wanted to have a cocktail with all our speakers back at school, but unfortunately we'll probably graduate before that. So we'll try and pass this legacy to our younger pals.
Yes.
But we still wanted to thank you. So we were thinking of sending you a gift card. If that's really fine with you, and we really insist on thanking you with a small gift. So would you be okay with we'll reach out on LinkedIn or any platform that's fine with you?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
You can reach on LinkedIn. I would need also your address because we're going to send you a tasting box.
Nice of you.
Oh wow, that's so sweet. That's so sweet.
I'll ask Juliana to.
Oh, my entire family's gonna cry over that. No, we're big on honey and that type of stuff.
Yeah. So if you have an address that I can send, I don't know if it's a good idea to send it to Marianopolis, or maybe I can send it to one of your home at Berkeley if you want to. Or
so I'm really Elspeth, do you want to take it, or I can go?
If you,
I can also go to Marianopolis and drive to your place.
No, it's probably easier just to go directly to my house because it just
okay.
rather than
Yeah, perfect.
And then any of you guys can come pick it up whenever I maybe drop it off. Yeah, perfect.
Awesome.
Here, well, I can just give it to you now.
Yes.
Let me know when you're ready.
Or you can just send a message if that's simpler.
Yeah, actually, that makes a lot more sense.
Since because it disappears after.
Here, give me a second.
And what's I'm just curious, like Juliana, like she's mentoring she's mentoring, like what's the work like? I'm just curious that's really nice. I felt that's really nice. Nice.
There you go.
Because
you can continue.
She was at Marianopolis, and now like she's
Uh-huh.
giving her time to get people to know what's their, to help people.
Mentor, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like a mentorship system the school has set up, and so students are paired up with like alumni, and they get to learn from them. And I think especially in times of pandemic, like it's really a great opportunity. Yeah, John just happened to have been paired up with Ella, which is great. And I mean, I'm not sure. Like, if you would ever want to mentor, I'm not sure if like non-alumni are kind of allowed, but definitely, I think it would be interesting to have you on board if that's possible. But
I mean, I think it's great that she's doing it. I'll tell to her that's amazing. I'm very proud that she's doing that.
Yeah,
It all goes back to giving,
giving back.
yeah, giving back, and it also makes you grow, because the
Oh
more
yeah,
you get, it's always like that. Life is it's a beautiful
yeah,
thing. Yeah.
yeah.
But I'll definitely share with you the tasting box.
Definitely.
And
Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, seriously.
and
Can't thank you enough.
and in terms of you can maybe send the card to Juliana, like the card for because she's
Oh wow.
she's been
Okay.
so nice to organize this. It'd be really nice that she's getting the card then. So I don't know if you have her address, but it'd be really nice to offer it to her. No?
Since you're helping the community, I think we'll just send both of you a card. So
Yeah, I mean that makes so much
it's our
sense.
pleasure.
It works best this
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
Okay, so we're all getting gifts.
the more the merrier. Yeah.
Give back, right?
Nice, love it. All right, and thank you so much for your time and for everything.
Thank
It's
you as well.
a pleasure. And we'll if you want a beehive, like Juliana was saying, reach out to Juliana. She'll be able to organize the whole thing for your school.
Okay.
Perfect.
Cool.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thank
All
you,
right.
Etienne.
Good night. Let's
Be
go.
fair.
See you.
See you.